Have you ever felt uneasy after a visit from a family member or caregiver, but couldn't quite put your finger on why? Maybe they spoke to you in a sharp tone, or made decisions for you without asking. Or perhaps they've started controlling who you talk to, what you spend money on, or even when you eat. If you're over 60, or getting there, you're not alone in wondering if something feels off. And that's exactly why I want to talk with you today. Because elder abuse doesn't always look like what you see on the news. It's not always bruises or shouting. Sometimes it's quiet and subtle, hidden behind a smile. And the truth is, it happens more than we realize. Today, I want to help you recognize the early signs of elder abuse so you can protect yourself or someone you love. This isn't about fear. It's about awareness. And it's about knowing that you deserve respect, safety, and dignity, no matter your age. Let's start with something many people don't realize is a form of abuse. Sign number 1, being treated like a child. Have you ever been spoken to in a way that made you feel small or dismissed? Maybe a family member says things like, "You wouldn't understand," or "Don't worry your head about it," when you ask about your own finances or medical care. Or perhaps someone raises their voice, rolls their eyes, or talks over you, as if your opinion doesn't matter anymore. This kind of behavior, being treated like you're no longer capable or intelligent, is a form of emotional abuse. And it's more common than you might think. My neighbor shared how her daughter started making all her decisions: what doctor to see, what clothes to wear, even who she could visit. At first, she thought it was just her daughter being helpful. But over time, she felt more and more powerless. She said, "I didn't want to make a fuss, but I started feeling like I wasn't even in charge of my own life." If you're being shut out of your own decisions, or made to feel confused, forgetful, or foolish when you're not, that's not care. That's control. And it's a red flag. You have the right to be heard, to be respected, to make your own choices, even if you need help with some things. No one should make you feel less than because of your age. Sign number 2, unexplained financial changes. Now let's talk about something that can be hard to face, but is one of the most common forms of elder abuse: financial exploitation. Has anyone recently asked for access to your bank account just in case? Or pressured you to sign a document you didn't fully understand? Maybe you've noticed money missing from your account, or bills not being paid, even though you know you have the funds. Sometimes, people in positions of trust, family members, caregivers, even friends, take advantage of their role. They might withdraw money without permission, use your credit card for their own purchases, pressure you into changing your will or adding their name to your property, convince you to give them loans they never pay back. One man I spoke with told me his grandson offered to help manage his finances. At first, it was helpful, but then he noticed large withdrawals and couldn't get clear answers. When he finally got help from a financial counselor, they discovered thousands had been taken. He said, "I trusted him. I never thought he'd do that." If something feels wrong with your money, don't ignore it. You have the right to know where your money is going, the right to say no, and the right to get a second opinion. And if you're uncomfortable sharing your passwords or account numbers with someone, that's okay. You don't have to justify that feeling. Your money belongs to you. So far, we've covered 2 important signs of elder abuse. 1. Being treated like a child, which is a form of emotional abuse. 2. Unexplained financial changes, which could be financial exploitation. Both of these signs can be easy to dismiss, especially if the person causing harm is someone you love or depend on. But your peace, your dignity, and your safety matter. In the next part of this video, we'll continue exploring other warning. I encourage you to reflect. Has anyone recently made you feel confused, pressured, or disrespected? Even if you're not sure, trust your instincts. You know your life better than anyone. Now let's move on to something that can be harder to spot, but just as serious. This next sign often hides behind excuses like, they're just tired, or they must have fallen. But it's something you should never ignore. Sign number 3, unexplained injuries or poor physical care. Let's talk about physical changes that don't add up. Have you noticed bruises, cuts, or sores that you can't explain? Or maybe you've been told you fell, but you don't remember how it happened. Sometimes injuries come with age, especially if balance becomes more of a challenge. But when bruises appear in unusual places like the arms, back, or face, or when they happen frequently, it could be a warning sign. One woman shared how her mother, who lived with a caregiver, started showing up with unexplained marks on her arms. When asked, the caregiver said, "She's just clumsy lately." But the daughter noticed her mom seemed afraid to speak up. She started checking in more often, and eventually discovered the caregiver had been roughly handling her during transfers. She said, "I almost believed the excuse, but something in my gut told me to look closer." Physical abuse isn't always violent. It can also show up as neglect, like not helping someone bathe, change clothes, or take their medication. If you or someone you love is being left in soiled clothing, not getting enough food or water, or missing doctor's appointments without a good reason, that's not just poor care, it could be abuse. And here's the hard truth. Many seniors stay silent because they're afraid. Afraid of being alone, afraid of not being believed, or afraid of making things worse. But your body deserves care. Your comfort matters. And no one should have to live in pain or discomfort, especially when help is available. Sign number 4, being isolated from loved ones. Now let's talk about something subtle but deeply concerning. Being cut off from the people who care about you. Have you noticed that visits from friends or family have stopped or been limited? Or maybe someone tells you, "You don't need to call your daughter today," or "That friend doesn't really care about you." Isolation is one of the most common tactics used in elder abuse. Because when you're alone, it's easier for someone to control you without anyone else noticing. I remember talking with a woman named Minnie. Her son moved in to help after her husband passed. At first, it felt like a blessing. But over time, he started discouraging her from seeing her friends. He'd say things like, "They're too loud," or "You need to rest." He even intercepted her phone calls. She didn't realize how isolated she'd become until a neighbor knocked on her door and said, "We haven't seen you in months." That small moment of connection opened her eyes. Isolation doesn't always come with locks or yelling. Sometimes it comes with protection that feels more like a prison. If you're being kept away from people who love you, or if someone makes you feel guilty for wanting to see them, that's a red flag. You have the right to stay connected, to speak with whom you choose, to say who comes into your home, and no one should stand between you and the people who care about you. So far, we've covered 4 key signs of elder abuse. 1. Being treated like a child. 2. Unexplained financial changes. 3. Unexplained injuries or poor physical care. 4. Being isolated from loved ones. Each of these signs can be easy to overlook, especially if the person causing harm is someone you trust or depend on. In the final part of this video, we'll wrap up with the 5th sign and talk about what to do if you suspect abuse. Because knowing the warning signs is only the first step. I encourage you to reflect. Are there moments when you felt confused, afraid, or cut off from people you love? Trust your instincts. You deserve to live with dignity, safety, and respect. Let's finish strong. Now let's talk about the 5th and final sign, one that many people don't realize is abuse at all. Sign number 5, feeling afraid, anxious, or powerless. Let's talk about how you feel in your own home. Do you ever feel afraid to speak up? Do you hold your breath when someone walks into the room? Do you avoid asking for help because you're worried about how they'll react? If so, that's not just stress. That's a warning sign. Living in fear is abuse. You should never feel scared in your own home, no matter your age or how much help you need. One gentleman shared how he stopped asking his caregiver for pain medication because she would get annoyed. He said, "I didn't want to be a burden, but I was in pain every day." Another man told me he didn't report missing money because he was afraid his son would stop visiting. "He's all I have," he said. These stories break my heart because no one should have to choose between getting help and being treated with dignity. You have the right to feel safe. You have the right to say no. You have the right to live without fear. And if you're feeling anxious, confused, or trapped, that's not something to brush off. That's something to pay attention to. What you can do if you suspect abuse. Now that you know the signs, you might be wondering, what can I do? First, please know this. You are not alone, and you are not overreacting. If you suspect abuse, whether it's happening to you or someone you love, there are steps you can take. 1. Talk to someone you trust. It might be a neighbor, a doctor, a faith leader, or a longtime friend. You don't have to go through this alone. 2. Keep a record. Write down dates, times, and what happened, especially if there are injuries, missing money, or changes in behavior. This can help if you need to get outside help. 3. Contact Adult Protective Services, APS. In most areas, APS is a free, confidential service that investigates elder abuse and connects people with support. 4. Call a helpline. In the U.S., you can call the Elder Abuse Helpline Elder Care Locator. They can help you find local resources, even if you're not ready to take action yet. And if you're helping someone else, don't wait for proof. If something feels wrong, trust your gut. You can say something like, "I've noticed you seem stressed lately. Is everything okay at home?" Or, "I miss seeing you. Can I come by and spend some time together?" Sometimes just showing up can break the silence. Let me quickly recap the 5 signs we've covered in this series. 1. Being treated like a child. 2. Unexplained financial changes. 3. Unexplained injuries or poor physical care. 4. Being isolated from loved ones. 5. Feeling afraid, anxious, or powerless. Each of these signs deserves attention. None of them are just part of aging. Because elder abuse is never okay, no matter who it is, no matter how subtle it seems, no matter how much you depend on them. You have the right to be treated with respect, to make your own choices, to live safely in your own home. And it's never too late to ask for help. If you found this helpful, please give this video a thumbs up and consider subscribing so you won't miss future videos like this one. And I'd love to hear from you. Have you ever noticed signs of abuse in your own life or someone else's? Or maybe you found a way to stay safe and supported. Share your thoughts in the comments below. You're not alone, and there is help. Your story could help someone else find the courage to speak up. We're here to support each other. Thank you so much for being here today. Thank you for giving me the chance to speak directly to you, heart to heart. Here's to your safety, your dignity, and living your best life on your own terms. Until next time, take care of yourself and know that your voice matters. See you soon.